All right, welcome back to Overcoming Loneliness for Christian Moms. I'm your host, Annie Joy, and I'm so happy you're here. Today, we're going to talk about why it's worth it to step out of your comfort zone and build friendships. Okay, first, let's talk about staying comfortable. It may give you a false sense of feeling safe, but staying comfortable really does come at a cost. Starting over. I want you to think about what it has already cost you to be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Like, how has it impacted your emotional, mental, spiritual well being? Like, really, if you need to pause for a second and come back to this podcast, but I want you to take a second to think about that. I would even take some time to journal about it. This is not an invitation to beat yourself up. I forbid you from doing that. This is just to get some clarity, because clarity helps us move forward. Staying in denial keeps us stuck, my friend, so we're just looking for clarity here, okay? So think about the missed opportunities for joy, or the missed opportunities for support, or maybe even growth when you are avoiding new connections, or when you are avoiding deeper connections with the people you already know. All right, so here's the story for you. So when my former husband and I were first married, we spent a summer in Texas so that he could do summer sales. And going out there, I said, I didn't want to make any friends because I wouldn't be there long enough to make it worth it. I acted like I didn't care that I wouldn't know anybody out there. And I would just once in a while maybe hang out with the other salesmen's wives if I needed to. But I'd be fine. I had enough friends. I was good. And I'm here to tell you that under all those excuses was fear. Here's a hint for you. That's often the feeling under most of our excuses to stay in our comfort zone. I was afraid of looking needy. I was a newlywed at the time, and I was trying to impress my husband, and I wanted to seem really independent and cool and whatever. And I didn't want to admit it at that time, but there was a part of me that was so afraid of rejection. Not that I don't ever get afraid of it now, but I was deeply afraid of it back then. And I thought, what if I put myself out there and they didn't want to be friends with me because I was only there for the summer? I would look stupid, and who wants to look stupid? Nobody. Nobody wants to look stupid. Okay? So we wanted to get out to Texas early because he wanted to do the pre-sales season. So we left in March. And at that time, most of the other salesmen weren't there. There was actually only one salesman and his wife out there at the time in the beginning of this like pre-season. So we eventually became friends, me and this other white, but she was really quiet. And so it took a little while for us to become friends. And every day he had to take the car to work to go sell, right? So I was stuck inside this apartment, and it took like, I don't know, a week, maybe even 2 weeks to get the internet hooked up. So I couldn't binge any shows. I was alone for 8 to 10 hours a day with no friends, no internet, nowhere to go on this new place that I don't know anyone or anything. And okay, listen, I did find a library. One of the first items of business moving there was finding the library and checking out a fat stack of books. Also, a side note, does anyone else just like love the feeling of a fresh stack of books for the library? Like, it gives me all the yummy feels. Anyway, if you feel me, you know, you know. But even this major bookworm can only read for so long. So I tried to get creative. I did some baking. I took pictures around the apartment complex because Houston is really beautiful. And I even crocheted a few baby blankets. But you guys, I was going nuts. And I tried not to complain too much to my husband at the time because it would make him feel bad. I didn't want to fight with him. We're newlyweds. Who wants to be fighting as a newlywed? And what could he even do about it anyway? And then I started to get resentful because I did feel like I was under house arrest. And I know these are first world problems, okay? But it showed me that the real impact of not having enough connection is painful. It was painful for me to act like I didn't need a community out there. So thankfully, I got over myself and I started opening myself up more while I was there. And I got called to be the assistant girls camp director for the LDS ward out there. So for those who may not be LDS, ward is basically a congregation. And girls camp is something we take our young women to do in the summertime to learn some camping skills and also to bond as a group. So I got called to help with this girls camp. And instead of saying no thanks, because I'm only here for a little bit, I just went all in and I helped and I created a great experience with an amazing team. And it was wonderful. So if I had kept myself closed off, I wouldn't have had the amazing experiences that I had at that girls' camp that summer in Houston. Another thing I did was that I put myself out there and I asked the mommy groups if I could come hang out with them. And then not too long after joining the group, I found out I was pregnant. So it was perfect for me. That group became a lifeline because I asked them so many questions about babies and motherhood and what to expect and what their experience was like. And it was a very beautiful connecting experience as I was facing the fears of becoming a new mother. Bless those women. And I'm still in touch with some of my Houston crew to this day on social media. And it was really an important lesson for me to quit acting like I was too cool for school and to realize that for every season of my life, I need community. And so do you, my friend. So, what are the benefits of true friendship? Because there's lots of people we might call a friend. We use the word friend loosely, right? But I'm talking about really true friendships. Okay, so God has designed us for community. If He meant for us to be alone, He would have created like mini islands for each person to do their own thing here on this earth. But by design, He put us in families, neighborhoods, congregations, communities. So clearly, He wants us to be part of a community. True friendships are a soft place to land when we need it. It's a place where we can feel inspired to grow as a person. It's where we can feel encouraged and understood. Marriage is so important, but so are friendships. If we expect our spouses to meet all of our needs, we're setting ourselves up for failure. It is good for us to have several humans in our life that can meet those attachment needs for us. So, what's actually stopping us from stepping out of our comfort zone? I have found it's almost always the fear of rejection. We're afraid of looking stupid. We're afraid that they won't like us or they won't accept us. And we're even afraid that despite our best efforts, we're still going to end up alone anyway, so why try? So let's talk about that fear. I totally get it. It's understandable because rejection can hurt at first. It takes vulnerability to put yourself out there. Totally understand that. You are exposing a very soft part of yourself that you usually keep hidden for protection. And I am not encouraging you to put it all out there for the first second you meet someone new, okay? Like if we are just telling a mom we just met at the park all of our deepest, darkest secrets, that's not vulnerability, okay? Brene Brown talks about how you have a marble jar and how take our marble jar and you meet someone new and you give them a marble and then you see how they do with it. If they keep the marble safe, maybe we give them another marble. And if they don't keep the marble safe, we only gave them one marble and we didn't give them the whole jar. And we can take care of ourselves and the impact that it had for us. They did not keep our marbles safe. And then we can work on healing for our next attempt to give someone else a marble, right? Building friendships is not a one and done task, and relationships can be messy. I get that. But that's the point of this whole Earth life. It's for us to be out on this playground called Earth and learn how to play together nicely here on the playground, okay? It's going to take time. But if you start looking at rejection as redirection, can you start to see it as God's plan for meaningful connections? Because if someone rejects you, do you really even want to hang out with them? Anyway, they're probably not the right fit for you. They're probably not your people. So it could save you from further heartache down the road, and it opens up your time and your energy and your space for someone else who is ready to be friends with you in the way that is most fulfilling for you. Let's take a minute to talk about that because I oftentimes have had women that I've coached in the past that talked about wanting to be part of a friend group and that it really hurt them. They couldn't be part of that friend group. And we got in some really deep, powerful conversations about what that means for them and what it looks like to be part of a friend group. And the important question that I asked them that I'm going to ask you right now is, if there's this friend group out there that you are longingly hoping to be a part of and it's just not happening, ask yourself this: do you really want to be part of their friend group, or do you just want to be part of a friend group? I think sometimes we get stuck in a scarcity mindset around friends that we see maybe at our church or maybe our kids' play group or something. We see these moms hanging out together. We're like, I want to be part of that. And it's natural to want to be part of a tribe. That's a God-given desire, right? To be part of a community. But truthfully, not everybody can hang out all the time. You just can't. Having more than like 5 people at a dinner table, you're not talking to them anyway. If you think about it, if you have a whole bunch of people at dinner, you're only talking to the people that are like right across from you, right next to you. So I'm not saying we can't invite everyone and include everyone. I'm saying that we're not always going to be able to. And when we see these other friend groups, we think, oh, they're rejecting me. They're rejecting me. Can we reframe that a little bit to say, maybe they're just at max capacity. That's all they have to give is to a couple of people. And there are so many other people who feel like you do. Can you be the one to create a new group? Can you create the space for other women who are like you wanting to have that friend group too? And it's going to take some time. It's kind of like dating. You go up and you do some things with these other women and you kind of feel them out and you say, okay, are we the same vibe? Do we have the same sense of humor? Are you going to be offended if I swear? Or do you not like talking about this? Or do you have very strong political opinions and I don't want to talk about that or whatever? Like, we have to look at it as a little bit of a dating process and reframing it to be that maybe these people can't give us what we're looking for, but that doesn't mean we're not worth giving it to. Can you sit with that for just a minute? If there's a friend group that doesn't want you to be part of it, can we make it mean that they're just at max capacity? It doesn't mean you're not worth loving. You are absolutely worth loving because you're you, okay? And there are going to be other people who are a better fit for you. We just have to take the time to let go of this dream of these other friends and face the reality that they're not for us, and that is okay. So I think sometimes we get really stuck in, well, we have to prove our worth. So if I can get into this friend group, if I can get these people to like me, then I'll feel worth it. But that's not how it works. You have to feel worth it on your own before anybody else validates that worth for you. Other people's approval is a black hole. It is never going to fill you up, I promise. So that being said, when it comes to rejection, do you trust that God has you? Do you trust that He is aware of the details of your life? If He is aware of the sparrow, I'm sure He is aware of your friendships. If it matters to you, I think it matters to Him. And I encourage you to trust Him and let Him be part of this process with you. He knows the traits and qualities you're looking for in a friend. And maybe if you think He doesn't know, talk to Him about it. Tell Him what you're looking for. Be very specific. I want a friend who has this kind of availability. I want a friend who has this kind of sense of humor. I want a friend who has these interests. I want to be able to branch out and learn more about pickleball or crocheting or gardening. So I want to find some friends that have those interests so I can expand my interests. Talk to Him about it. Honestly, He's probably your best friendship coach. He knows where all those people are. He knows how to guide you to find the people that are meant for you. So trust Him in that process, okay? Here's what we're going to do, all right? Here's your quick win. We're going to start small. We're just going to initiate conversations. It could be at church, it could be at school events or play dates. So let's just be playful in this practice, okay? You can do this. I believe in you. Take one little step out of your comfort zone. I'm not even saying you have to invite someone over for a play date or invite them out for coffee. Like, we're not even getting the invitation just yet. If you're not ready for that, that's okay. I just want you to start initiating conversations, okay? Compliment the cashier. Ask the lady walking her dog what type of dog she has. Ask someone at church what show they've been binge watching lately. Like, what is their favorite movie they've seen? You don't have to do anything after that for now. Remember, we're doing little steps around here because little steps create big impact. And I want you to pray for the courage and the opportunities to build meaningful connections. Okay, that's it for today. I know you can do this. Why? Because you are awesome. Let's make the world a kinder place together. And will you do me a favor? Hit that follow or subscribe button so we can hang out every week. I'll see you next time.